Hey y'all, hey, it is me. And thank you for coming on and just listening today. So, the conversation I wanted to talk about today is choices. Um, I actually have a ebook and excuse me, y'all. So, I have an ebook and it's definitely was one of my first things I created when I got diagnosed with MS, and it's just like 20 hacks of like everyday living, and just it just highlights what I was going through and what I was having to change, having to do things differently and whatnot. So I want to read my favorite excerpt. So okay, sidebar. Since this is episode 2, welcome to episode 2. But I'm gonna figure out all that intro stuff again. Y'all just gonna get these real raw episodes from the beginning because I'm recording in one place and I gotta travel to another place, and then I have to actually sit down and get back comfortable back home. So yeah, but and I just lost my train of thought. So yeah, so I'm just gonna read my excerpt. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I was raised by a southern woman, a woman that was raised in Mississippi. I realized as I went through college and just life and everything, like I talk just like her. And sometimes it's not the best grammar. Don't come for me, because when it's time to be good, I'm good. But yeah, this is my podcast, so I can stumble and I can y'all get the point. All right, that was a sidebar. But so yeah, so my hack number 13 is choices, decisions, commitments. Get familiar with the choices that you have in life. Make the best decision to choose the best choice for you. Then commit the choice that you choose. You cannot want all the choices in life, but don't want to decide. You cannot decide to do something, but don't want to commit to it. Understanding these three things and how they coexist will help you elevate your life. What to do? Understand the choices you have. Make a discrete decision. Commit to that concrete decision, not discrete, concrete. I don't know what I'm reading, y'all, but whatever. Uh, and it is like early in the morning, whatever. Write down all the things you must choose from to live a better life. Decide which choice you will tackle first. Commit to at least 30 days of that choice and that decision. So I had to really look at my choices, my decisions, my commitments. And when I started to look at my choices, it's like, okay, I do have choices. I'm going to use the MS because that's my life. But like with MS, I have choices. I have the choice to be on medication. I have the choice to be stressed out. I have the choice, like I have all these different choices I can choose. But I don't have to choose those choices, if that makes sense. Um, Everything is me. Everything is for me. Everything is for what I want to do in my life. Like, this is your life. And I tell people this all the time. Like, you are the director. You get to decide what stays, what leaves, what, you know, everything. The editor. You get to edit, you get to produce, you get to do a whole bunch of stuff in your life. But I think a lot of times we get stuck with life circumstances and think these were our choices. Like, I had to wake up one day and remind myself that I didn't choose MS. MS really chose me. But I didn't choose this. So my choices there is not much. So I don't spend much time trying to determine the choices that I have with MS. I kind of just take what I can get, especially with being holistic. Like, if I'm going to go holistic, I got to be full gone into it. And that's just my choice. That's really the only choice I have. Like, I can't, it's not going nowhere. I'm like, no time soon until I figure out whatever. But it's just not going nowhere at this moment. So I don't really focus on things that I can't change either. So then you have a choice, but then you have a decision that you have to make, and you have to decide, what do you want? Do you want these choices? Do you want this choice? What is a good choice? What is a good, like, are you happy with this? And decide if that's going to be what you want to do. And then you have to commit to your choices once you decide. You have to commit to it. So I had to commit to being holistic. I had to commit to being, um, hearing everybody negative thoughts, hearing everybody negative ideas about my, how people done said some crazy things to me, and especially when, even especially people with MS though, like I realize there's a lot of people that is really, I'm so optimistic that I don't do well with pessimism. Like, I can have a moment being a pessimist, but I'm more so optimistic. Like, I like to look at the brighter sides of things. And I know it's hard to look at the brighter side of things. If you any of my MS warriors are listening, I know it's hard to look at the brighter things with MS. But after almost 5 years, you get used to it. Like I was talking to my auntie, and my left hand is currently numb, and I was like, well, at least it's not my right hand. And then you just keep on going, because at the end of the day, what can I do? I can't do nothing about it. It's literally the aftermath of me having a pinched nerve, and just my nerves haven't woke up completely in my hand just yet. They're coming back, but they just haven't woke up completely. So that's another piece of decision making, choices, like making a decision, making a choice, um but also the commitment. And then again, like I had so many different choices of the life I wanted to live, and I could have went into business, and I realized that that's not where I want to sit at. I'm a scholar, I'm a nerd, I like knowledge. I want to give out information. I want to give people knowledge. I don't want to sell people anything. No. Now, if y'all want to buy something from me, I can give y'all something to buy. But that's not, I'm not a salesperson, which is so funny because I used to work in retail, and I could sell literally, I can make some sales. But that's just not, I mean, what I'm trying to do now is just, that's not where it's at. So having that knowledge about myself, it made it easy to make the choices. To figure out which choices I have, and then make the decision, and then commit, of course, right? So I wanted to talk. I want to talk about something that's just been on my mind. What I've been seeing, and Aisha Curry. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but um, so I remember a few years back when she said, what did she say? I can't even remember what she said, and I'm not going to pull it up because it's really irrelevant. Like, y'all can go look at what she said in the past. But go look up what she said in the past. But it was somewhere around the fact of, like, her not feeling wanted, and people don't, men don't hit on her, and blah, 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 blah. So that was a couple years ago, probably like 5, 6 years ago. So then fast forward now, and I seen the clip, and I'm going to go watch the actual interview, because one of the things that I hope a lot of us are going to start learning about media is that these clips are not real context. So a lot of this stuff is clickbait, and it's totally out of context when you chop it into a clip. So I will go watch the whole interview, because I'm very curious about her, because I'm really curious about what's wrong, if that makes sense. So the clip that I saw, she was just sitting there saying how she didn't want kids. She didn't want kids. She didn't see herself being a wife. She never had that dream. She never had that image of her. But, she got with Steph, and she became a wife, had kids. Everything just happened so quickly, and then now she's in a point where she feels unfulfilled and she feel unhappy, and she's saying he's trying to resonate with her, but he just doesn't get it. And one thing, if y'all know me personally, y'all know I am a straight no chaser type of gal. I don't got time for all of that coddling, all of that boo hoo and crying. Choices, decisions, commitments. Girl, you had a choice. I get so frustrated, and especially after having a condition like MS, where like my world got blown up and I had no control over it. So things like marriage, children, career, like these are things that we get to control in our life. And I see different, and I listen to all different viewpoints. So I'm not a type of person that I just listen to people that agree with me. I listen to people that don't agree with me, and I listen to all viewpoints because I just love seeing a collective. I'm very big. I'm a Gemini, so I'm very big on duality. Everything two things can exist at one time. Hello, yes. Um, so I try to look at it from every angle, and even me and my bae, we were, and it's still be a really good conversation. I would love for y'all to hear his output from a man standpoint, but from a woman standpoint, I'm trying to resonate with her, and I'm trying to connect with her as a woman. And maybe it is because I don't have children yet. Maybe it is because I'm not a wife yet. But there's reasons for that as well. Like I didn't choose to have kids while I was in college because I was in college. I didn't choose to get serious with the men that wanted to get serious with me because I didn't know if I was ready to be that woman, if I was ready to be that mom, if I was ready to be that stepmom. Like I always had the control over my life up until the mess. But up until then, but before then, I was able to say, I'm living a life that I'm choosing. I'm choosing to live when it comes to those things like marriage, kids. Like I was the person, I didn't want to be tied down. And I knew that about myself. So my thing with her is that I, and again, maybe she's not looking for sympathy. She's just being open and honest about her feelings. Maybe that is what it is. But then it's like it does kind of come off like she's kind of like, because we're circling back around to you're having these conversations in open places, like you're not having these conversations um in private. So I just can't figure out with her is why. And it's your 4 kids. Like you didn't figure this out after kid one. Like I know a lot of people are not like. I remember having a conversation with a guy, and he were just saying how he's not going to leave a situation because that's not ideal and that's not going to. And it's like, but if the situation is not healthy, or if the situation is not what you want, or if you're unhappy, why stay in misery? And I think where we're at now in the world is that misery loves company, and miserable people will keep you miserable, and you really have to fight against that. Like that's really is what it is. And that was one of the catalysts of me moving away, because I realized the misery that sits in my hometown, and it's just like absolutely not. I'm not about to be embedded in this. So going back to Aisha Curry, you have 4 kids. You have 4 kids. You're married to a basketball player. He's successful. You have this life. You have all of this. How did you let yourself get here? And again, I tell people this all the time. We all been there. I've been there. I've been in situations where now looking back, like I'm like, I stayed way too long. And I hope every woman gets that revelation of I stayed way too long sooner than later, because she's internally unhappy. Your kids are going to feel that. It don't matter how much you try to pretend. I don't care what nobody says. People who care about you can tell when you're not okay. And you taking this internal pain with you every day, all day, because your life goals are not what you wanted them. And again, in your 30s, because this is what I'm experiencing now, you know, looking back on my 20s, I'm happy now. Like in my 20s, I was kind of feeling out of touch, because it's like, oh, like again, from episode 1, I live a completely different life of the majority of the women around me. So feeling really out of touch and feeling really like, and then having that guilt of not wanting to remove myself, because I don't want the people I love feel like I'm abandoning them. But then you really have to feel some type of way of, y'all want me to hold myself back though. You know, like I can't my coach told me, oh, I wrote it down too. She said something that was so good in our session. She was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna keep sacrificing myself to pacify others." Meaning I'm not gonna be a different version of me to please y'all. And that's what I've been practicing these past couple of months, is really showing up as myself and also giving people what they give me. I'm the type of person that I like to operate as I'm me, and that's how I am, but also realizing that, and the scientist in me, of the reaction, the cause and the reaction. There's a reaction to everything. And I think a lot of people don't want to look at the cause because they don't want to talk about their own actions in the situation. And so, um, as I wrap this episode up, I really just want everybody to look at their choices. Look at their choices and the decisions that they're making. This is our life. The things that you can't control, you just can't control it. You can't control it. But the decisions that you make, you sure can. You may not can control all the choices that you have, but sometimes that might be a result of the decisions that you made that changes your choices. That's just a whole nother conversation, different layer. But it's also really big to realize that you are living this life, ain't nobody else living it. So if you are unhappy, if you are miserable, if you don't like it, you have to sit with yourself. No one is going to help you figure that out but you. And going back to real quickly to the Aisha Curry situation, as a woman who seeks to be a wife, a mother, to have that life, like me and my best friend would joke all the time that we kind of have a swap life. And that's just what it is. Like, that's just how the choices that we had, and then based on the decisions that we made, that's how our lives end up. So I really want to take the time to let people know, especially women, because I'm seeing this in women, especially women who are married, who have kids, and now they're looking and like, oh my God, I hate my life. And once you realize that, okay, I made these decisions, that's how I got here. But I could also make decisions to make things look different. That's it. You can change everything in your life. Like, I changed my whole life in 3 months. Literally. In 3 months after a year of unhappiness. So, here's to episode 2, and thank you for listening.